in metabolic data, in urine testing. So we did that, and we did find that. We had people connected to a physio suite. We looked at their heart rate variability. We looked at EEG. We saw changes there. We had people sitting in front of an infrared camera. And we had people drink this water. Now, what we were looking for was to see if people were in pain, and you can see the inflammation on the infrared, if drinking the water would get rid of their pain. What we didn't expect to find is that when people drank the water, we would see light coming out of their throat. And this showed up in some people on the infrared. Now, when we have a new product, of course, we want to see how long is it going to take for people to respond to the product. So most of you are probably pretty happy that people respond to X39 in the first 24 hours, right? Yes, or I thought you'd be happy about that. Okay. In this study, and bear in mind, X39 is our flagship product. So the idea here is that we can have a technology not only to stimulate the skin with light, but now to take light in the body, and the two are working in harmony. So could we see that people's results with X39 would even be faster than 24 hours? Well, we had one person in the study. We had in these 4 studies about 80 people. We had 80 people. One person out of the 80, after drinking the water, responded within only 2 minutes. Yeah, it's one person, I know. 79 out of the 80, we saw changes in the heart rate variability and the EEG in 15 seconds. So, we were very excited about that. So, let's take a look at this now, and we want to see what happened in the urine data. So, we got statistical significance, and actually, Dr. Caitlin Connor just sent an email 2 days ago saying on the new study that they just did, they got statistical significance on that, so it reaffirms the data that I'm about to show you here, and we actually learned some new things. So the first amino acid, and I want you to look at this from the perspective of looking at a pattern that's forming, because that's exactly what happened here. Each one of these amino acids that gets upregulated in the body is a sign that that amino acid is being used, but what is it telling us about exactly what's going on? So the first one is sarcosine. And sarcosine, it shares properties with glycine. And what's interesting is that it's used to improve cognition. So when you drink this water, one of the effects that people report is a rush of energy up into their heads. That's sarcosine being metabolized and turning on the brain. And if you think about this another way, bioelectrically, if we're releasing light into the body, the big users of electricity in the body are the heart and the brain. The heart and the brain have massive electrical fields. So you could look at it another way. What happens is you drink the water, the light increases the electrical field and electromagnetic field around the heart and the brain, and this triggers changes in the metabolism, and we see sarcosine being utilized as a symptom of expansion of consciousness and improved brain. So expect to have improved memory, focus, processing in the frontal lobes from drinking this water. Okay, serine is another amino acid that we saw, and interestingly enough, serine is related to cognition. So here we have another pathway. So apparently when you drink this water, it makes your brain work better. What else could be going on here? Now I've got some good news for you, some great news when it comes to you X39 fans, because glycine, which is used in the manufacture of copper peptide and glutathione, gets upregulated when you drink this water. That means people will get better benefits when using X39. Now, not only that, but your lifespan is directly correlated to your body's levels of glutathione. We know that copper peptide declines with age, so the higher your copper peptide levels, the longer that you live. If we had a technology that could prevent us from aging, what you would expect to find is that it would help support your body's levels of glutathione and copper peptide, and that's exactly what we found. Now, the next one was valine. How many athletes, athletic enthusiasts do we have here? I would hope that we would see all of your hands go up, but okay, you can't win them all. For those of you that aren't exercising, please exercise. Okay, we're going to do some studies, by the way. We're doing some studies with this water, and we're going to try to get exercise down to 10 minutes a week. We're going to try to do that. So stay tuned for that. Okay, I'm serious, it's possible. Okay, so one of the signs of aging is sarcopenia, a loss of muscle. We also see, of course, a loss of bone density. The two of them are connected. And the branched chain amino acids, leucine, isoleucine, and valine, if we had a technology that could stop, prevent, reverse aging, one of the things we would expect to find is an increase in muscle protein synthesis. That's exactly what we found. Valine metabolism gets upregulated. And also very interesting, I don't want to make a claim about this, I'm being eyed right now, valine is associated with lower blood sugar levels. And it's also indicative of an increase in growth hormone. So I'll let you draw your own conclusions as far as what that means to people that are going to be using the water. I have my attorney looking at me right now saying, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. That's our 20th anniversary, I can say it, right? All right. Okay, histidine, another amino acid. And what's interesting about this is histidine is part of carnosine, and of course, carnosine is composed of alanine and histidine, and we know that that is associated with longevity. So we increase our body's levels of carnosine. It's been shown to increase lifespan by 30 to 40%. So again, here we have another indicator. By releasing the correct wavelengths of light inside the body, we can turn on mechanisms associated with longevity. Not surprisingly, along with histidine, we find alanine metabolism getting upregulated as well. And of course, we know alanine is not only associated with carnosine, but also AHKCU, or what we want to upregulate with X49. You drink the water, it makes X49 work better, in addition to X39. Leucine. Okay, so leucine is another branched chain amino acid, and this was the big one, because leucine turns on mTOR, and mTOR, of course, is associated with muscle protein synthesis. We're doing a study where we're going to take athletes and give them hopefully the same exercise program, same amount of protein, but what we're going to do is give them this water, and we're going to compare the difference in the amount of strength, stamina, and muscle that they can gain. But what we're going to expect that we're going to find based on the results of this study is that as you continue to feed the body more protein and you have the stimulus there, that the body will gain muscle mass very rapidly. I did my own anecdotal experiment with this, and I'm convinced that it works. So this could end up being, water with light, could end up being the most powerful anabolic ever created. There's a little bit of a market for that. Methylhistidine, this again is a sign that tissue is being broken down and new muscle tissue is being formed. So we have every indicator here that this product is going to be phenomenal for athletes or simply anyone that wants to push off aging. But you do have to eat right, you do have to get your essential nutrients, and you do have to exercise. Proline. So if we want to stop and reverse aging, we have to reverse what happens at age 25 with us. At 25, the body begins to shut down production of collagen. So of course, by the time we get over the age of 70, it's very difficult to heal. This water upregulates collagen production. So we can expect to see reduction in lines and wrinkles. We can expect to see faster healing. Again, when all the nutrients are there. And then this was a huge one, which, again, this is one of these things when you do these studies, you cast a wide net, you see what you find, so it makes the studies expensive, but when everything turns out the right way, you're really excited about it. So this is the KP pathway. And this was the big one because it's indicative of an increase in NAD production in the cell. And for those of you that aren't familiar with this, David Sinclair at Harvard was given about $1 billion in funding to try to find a drug to turn on NAD. Because NAD has been found, when you upregulate it, can reverse at least part of aging. So again, we have another indicator here that you drink this water and it is stopping and reversing parts of human aging. And there's a lot more for us to explore here. And that's just the beginning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. You guys want to see the machine? Let's see the video of the machine first, shall we? Okay. Well, we're going to talk about this new technology now. And for that, I would like you to give a warm round of applause for our Global VP of Marketing, Mr. Wayne Moorhead.
Is this incredible? Well, David, the excitement and anticipation around this launch has been coming for a while, and it's truly incredible. And what's even more incredible are the results that you've seen in the studies and that we've started to hear from people as they've also started to try the water as well. And with this new technology that's really never been seen before, a lot of us, I know I do, have a lot of questions and want to dig in a little bit deeper. We're very eager to learn more. So I get to represent everybody here in the audience and asking you a few additional questions. Just to dig in a little bit deeper, I know we all want as much information on this product as we can. So I'd love to start off with water itself. So why is that such an ideal delivery system for this light technology and for these health benefits?
Yeah, so when we make observations of what occurs in the human body over time with aging, we can see fundamentally the amount of water in the body begins to decrease. But we understand that, but do we really understand the impact of what's going on there? We can look at it from a biochemistry perspective in the sense that this will lead to a decline in energy. And so by the age of 50, people start to feel the impact. They'll gain more body weight, lose muscle mass, lose bone density. They're tired and fatigued. All of this stems from initially a reduction in water. The reason for this that I think is overlooked is the mechanism is that as the cells begin to shrink, the electrical charge around the cell begins to decline. So we think of, let's say, going from a basketball going down to a baseball. Not quite like that, but you can visualize it. So around the outside and the inside of the cell, you have electrolytes that maintain an electrical charge. And when the cells divide, and this is the part that's overlooked, when the cells divide, that electrical charge is shunted to the DNA and is used to drive, it creates an electromagnetic pulse, and it's used to drive DNA replication. So through the aging process, when the charge around the cell membrane declines, there's less energy to transfer over to the DNA, and gene expression is going to change. So if we are able to have a water to keep the body better hydrated, if that's one of the mechanisms, which this water will do, then we have a novel method for attacking the problem of aging. So that, among many things, is fundamental to human aging. So we have to start there. If we're going to stop human aging, we have to improve upon our hydration and keeping the levels of water in the body as high for as long a period of time as possible.
Thank you. That's fascinating. So I'm curious, how is this primarily different from other water filtration systems, other alkaline filters? What are some of the primary differences?
Yeah, so this is like nothing else that exists in the market. And what I was so excited about is that we got a patent very, very quickly about this. I know that you're new to LifeWave, but it took me 11 years to get the first LifeWave patent.
Wow.
And then the coil technology that I showed, that was 18 months. This technology was less than 1 year to get a patent. It happened very, very quickly because the mechanism is so novel. So I know you're probably going to ask me some questions about some of the other things here, but basically what we're doing here is we're creating new matter. We're creating a type of water that never existed before. It's highly organized and structured. So you could say it's structured water, but not in the traditional sense. We're using the water as a delivery mechanism. So the water is a carrier of light. So you drink the water, and the water goes everywhere, and the light gets released everywhere in the body. And that can be measured.
That is amazing. Yeah, thank you. So can you share a little bit about what's under the hood? Can you talk about the process that the water goes through, the different stages, a little bit?
Yeah, this was really fun working with, we had 2 different teams of engineers, actually 3. So we had an internal team of engineers, and we had 2 separate companies that we had hired to take the initial prototype that I had built and then convert it into something, that would look nice and sit on someone's counter. So the first thing that we do is on the left side of the machine, from looking at it this way, is we have a reservoir where you would put 2 liters of water. Now you can put tap water into this. If you want to put clean water into it, you want to put any special water, spring water, deuterium depleted water, what have you, you can put any type of water into this. And then the water will pass through 2 separate stages of filtration that are over here. Now it took about 8 to 9 months for us just to develop the first water stage. We had gone to a number of companies that specialized in water filtration, but the first stage was the most important. So we wanted to be able to eliminate heavy metals, microplastics, PFOS, PFOAs, the forever chemicals.
Incredible.
This had to be the best filter that you could get. And so it took forever to find a company to work with, but we finally found it. Then inside there's a second stage. So if you remember correctly, what we're doing is we're taking oxygen and hydrogen and combining it into a new form of water. So through the process, the water is oxygenated, but there's a second filter in there, which is a carbon filter, so it further reduces any potential contaminants, although the first stage really does that. But the second stage will also put additional hydrogen into the water. So this is not a hydrogenated water product. We're putting in hydrogen because we want to combine it with the oxygen to form this new species. And then in the center of the equipment is where we have our black box, and that's the core of the technology. So in there we're going to have light processing units, and this is the proprietary system that I invented and we developed in our labs, and that is going to, it takes about 45 minutes to process a 16-ounce or 500 ml glass of water.
Incredible. Technology like nothing we've ever seen before. So I'm curious, you talk, yeah, go ahead, please. Thank you, David. So you spoke a little bit about how long it takes to kind of work its way through the system, from filtration to infusion. What about, let's call it dosage? how long, how many glasses is it per day, per week, per month should someone consume? And then what are the corresponding kind of benefits with those timeframes?
Yeah, so everything on this machine happens through a touchpad interface. And so you just simply, the screen is going to give you feedback as far as is it processing water, when you need to change the filter, and so forth. And when you want to dispense, you just simply press the button, and this machine will process 2 glasses of water at a time. And then it's another 45-minute cycle, and then you have another glass. So whenever you're ready to drink the water, you'll just dispense it, and then off you go. Now, when we did our studies, it was all based on only drinking 1 glass per day. And actually, when we first started the studies, this was something I was very concerned about, because I thought, well, maybe you only have to drink like 100 or 200 mils, like a quarter of a glass or half a glass of water to get the benefits. So you don't have to think in terms of that you have to drink 8 glasses a day of this water. Really, I think what we're finding is that 1 glass is enough.
Incredible.
The other thing to keep in mind is that the water is going to upregulate your use of nutrition. So it's going to regulate your need for vitamins, minerals, amino acids. So if you really want to get essential fatty acids, so you want to get the best benefits of this water, you want to be having a healthy diet and maybe even supplement. And maybe even have a special supplement that's designed to work with this water machine.
I'm excited to learn more about that, absolutely. So I know, we start to feel the benefits so quickly. What about over time? Is there a compounding effect that as someone takes it over weeks and months, that it has even this kind of optimization effect with that?
Yeah, so what we've been doing up to this point is in our research, since we haven't had the machines for people to take home with them, all of the studies so far have been on drinking 1 glass of water. What happens when you take a baseline reading, you take someone's blood, urine, bioelectrical readings, you give them the water, and then you check back 1-2 minutes later on some test, 20 minutes on another test. So that's the time frame that we've been working with. Now that we're getting the machines manufactured in their final form, now the testing that we're going to look at is the telomere testing and the genetic panels. So what we want to know is when we've done telomere testing in the past, you need 6 months to see a difference between before and after. On the genetic testing, let's say it's 4-6 months. That would be around the window. So what we'll do essentially is take 20 to 50 people in 2 different studies, have them take the machines home with them. They'll have a glass of water every day. And then we'll measure their blood and urine and bioelectrical readings over a course of 6 to 9 months. And then we're going to see, do these people become physically younger over that period of time? Can we measure that? So those are going to be important studies that we've done, which we haven't gotten to. But people would expect to see, especially, changes in their cognition over a period of the first few weeks of using this. And if they're exercising, the change in muscle growth is extremely rapid, first 2-3 weeks, as long as they're loading with protein.
Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit more about how this works in concert with the other LifeWave products, kind of making it a 1 + 1 = 10 type of equation that I know doesn't work in your world, but that's my math there. So
marketing math. Yeah, that's
marketing
okay.
math. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to answer that. The one other thing that I wanted to point out, it's
Please.
not on this prototype. This is one of 10 prototypes that came off of the lab. There's also another cartridge in here. And so the filters get replaced. One filter gets replaced every 6 months, the other filter every year. But we have a cartridge where you can take a special type of supplement. I'm just getting a patent on this now. But you take a special type of supplement and you add it into the water, and it actually intensifies the effect. And you can get the water to go to specific parts of your body.
That's incredible.
But that's a story for a different day.
No, that's amazing.
So yeah, for years, one of the things that we've done is we recommended to people stay hydrated. So when we look at the scientific literature, and this is going back 20 years, one of the things that we see is that when people are in pain, part of it is a function of dehydration, part of it is a function of mitochondrial dysfunction, and another part is a deficiency in electrolytes like magnesium and potassium. So one of the things that our LifeWave community would do is they would give people a glass of water before applying patches, and what we would find is that the demos they were doing on pain relief would improve in people that were dehydrated. Now, you don't have to do that because we find over 90% of the people that use the patches, they get pain relief. But when you have someone that's dehydrated, they won't respond to the patches, you give them a glass of water, and the results improve. So we need water to manufacture energy and have flow of energy through the body, and that drives everything else. When you have a water that itself contains energy, it's a game changer because it makes every other patch we have work better. It's like a turbocharger for the patches.
That's amazing.
I'd say that.
Yeah, I love how it works so perfectly with all of the other products and actually maximizes the benefit. I think that's incredible. So what are the benefits that you're most excited about? I know you went into some of the, the muscle loss, cognitive, anti-aging. What are some of the ones that you're most excited about?
Have you ever seen an Italian age? When I was growing up, I'm half German, half Italian. There's some Irish in there somewhere. And I had all of these old Italian relatives, and all of them became overweight. My grandfather developed diabetes, Parkinson's disease, and it was a horrible thing to watch. So I think that's part of the thing that's inspired me and driven me to want to stop human aging. So I think the thing that's most exciting to me about this is that our research is showing that this is a legitimate path to stopping human aging.
Wow.
Every other benefit that you would want as a human being stems from that.
Incredible. So speaking of the other benefits, what might determine whether someone experiences one benefit over another? Does it have to do with maybe deficiencies, or other aspects of lifestyle? What might determine whether someone's going to feel, it's more energy or the cognitive impacts or some of these others?
Yeah, I mean, some of the benefits are going to be universal, and then other benefits will depend on a person's age. Are they taking any type of pharmaceutical drugs that are generally impairing their health? Do they have a pre-existing medical condition? What is their diet like? Just the same rules would apply as what we would say, well, what experience are you going to have with the patches?
Sure.
So it would be the same type of thing. So it would really be an opportunity for people to take a look at their life and say, okay, well, maybe it's time to clean up my diet. Maybe I should supplement in some places where I might be deficient. I should start an exercise program, or at least, walk regularly, get my body moving, get proper sleep. All of these things are going to support our overall health. So when we add a technology like this, we can expect the best benefits.
Absolutely. And I love that. Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. I love what you just said. It seems like this is a catalyst on an individual and personal level for us to make other changes as well. We know, we want to optimize the benefits of this product, of the patches, of the others, and that's going to help us then and really motivate us to supplement and exercise and diet, that it has all these lifestyle implications. So we've talked a lot about the overall health benefits, kind of the bio benefits. I'm curious, can you share a little bit about the business benefit? How you see this fitting in the portfolio of all of the other incredible LifeWave products, and how it helps share LifeWave with more people around the world?
So this is a statement of LifeWave migrating from being a patch company to a technology company. And this is just the beginning. I think what I would like our community to understand is that this is the first product that's coming out of this technology. And there's other applications for the technology that we haven't talked about today. So this is going to be the embodiment where the wavelengths of light are triggering regenerative mechanisms in the body. But if we could have a technology where we could get light to go in our body and go to different places, what would that potentially mean? If we could have energy that would regenerate the heart or the kidneys or the liver, that would be incredible. We could get different cosmetic benefits from this process. And so, of course, I have a number of applications in mind that I'm not sharing right at the moment. But I think what would be important for all of our partners to know is that we have 7 years of product launches planned based off of this technology. So we're thinking, as business owners, we want to be looking at how can we shelter ourselves from competition? How can we innovate? How can we stay ahead of the competition? How can we continue to expand our money earning potential? And so we're thinking very far out into the future now in our planning on this. And every one of these applications for this technology is cutting edge, and it doesn't exist today. So we're going to continue to have new and innovative things with phenomenal benefits, and you can't get it any other place but LifeWave.
Amazing. Well, I'm excited to hear that this is just the beginning of the application of that technology. I'm super excited to get one of these in my home as well after the launch. And David, I just want to thank you for developing this technology, for bringing it to the world, and for allowing us to help share it with everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you.
Appreciate
Really
it.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wayne Moorhead, everybody. Thank you. Okay, now it's time for me to ask something of all of you. Uh-oh. Boy, it's dead silent. Don't be nervous. This isn't a bad thing. When, when we were planning out this conference, we were coming up with all different types of ideas, and my staff said to me, what do you want to do to celebrate 20 years? That's a big question. So I thought about it, and the first thing that came to mind was, I want to watch Star